And we are back.
We're back, bitches.
We turn on the alerts so that we can see who's doing what. Boom.
What can I say instead of itches?
I don't know.
I'm going to call them bumblebees.
Okay.
We're back, bumblebees.
We are going to read a couple super chats that came through before the live even started to get those out of the way so I'm not missing anything. And then we got some housekeeping to do. I have a TikTok video I want to show you guys. We have Life Alert.
Life alert.
Life Alerts. Help, I fallen and I can't get up. I was going to make a help, I'm 40 and I can't get it up joke and then plug Matrix Hormones, but it just didn't.
Yeah.
It didn't feel right.
Didn't roll that
No.
way.
Chloe Hill sent a $20 super chat that said, "Hello, Chris and Peaches. I've been watching your videos for quite some time now. My partner and I are both 18 and have been together for 4 years. I implemented what y'all preach daily. The both of you are truly a blessing. Thank you so much for that and the super chat. It means a lot.
Yes.
Love reading that shit. Special shout out before I get into the next super chat from Marco the Pizza Man.
Marco the pizza man.
Not the pizza guy. Don't
Pizza
confuse
man.
that shit. Is the pizza man. We just did an interview with him today, and he brought us some amazing garlic bread.
And I ate it on the podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And
good.
we'll have a special episode coming out with him on the 8th, and then a cooking episode with him and Peaches on the 15th.
Conservative aunt might be there too.
That's the plan. Yep. Abby Summers said, "Would you guys ever consider reading relationship Reddit stories?" That could be fun content.
Yeah, it could be.
So yes, we would consider it.
Yeah.
And there was one more that popped up, I think. Nope.
No, only 2.
I could have swore there was 3 up there a minute ago. Yep. All right. Okay. Now that we've read those, seeing lots of hellos from people, lots of names I recognize. I love that there's so many people here. We
Thank
still
you guys
have
for joining us tonight.
we still have some shirts on this website. We have the Burn the Ship shirts, lots of her home, his peace shirts. We have some tattoo shirts left, some accountability shirts left.
My husband's got me.
Choose your hard. We have shirts in stock. We are not doing a t-shirt drop for November. However, we will be doing something in December. We will have 2 shirt drops that will have graphic images on the front that will be full color print, and it will be unlike any of the shirts that we've done so far, which is why we're not doing a shirt drop this month. That's covered. Other housekeeping, we have moved a lot of the interview stuff that we're doing full-length content behind the Patreon paywall. When we go to Tennessee from the 22nd to the 27th this month, we are going to be doing previous episode content going up on for our downtime. However, moving forward, when we take vacations, we're going to be pulling Patreon content from back in the day, Vimeo content, like early content, and posting that for people. So Patreon content will eventually make it out to YouTube. We just be when we feel like it. So know that if you're sending in shit for Patreon, it may hit YouTube as like a rerun thing. We are not doing any type of weird content tonight. It's just going to do Q&A stuff and conversations and maybe some TikTok reactions. December 1st through 3rd, we have Troy from Change Unchained, which is a human trafficking organization where they fight and combat human trafficking. Will be here in studio, and we're going to try to knock out 3 to 4 episodes with him over the time that he's here. And we are working on still doing interviews. The other thing that I wanted to mention on the interview front is if you are a TikTok creator or a YouTuber, or you have somewhat of a following and you would like to be on the podcast to talk about the struggles of being a creator, we are willing to have conversations with you via Zoom. And we would like to put you onto our Patreon Zoom for our live streams that go on after this live stream so that you guys can get your content out there and we can have discussions. We did not do shit this week.
No, we didn't. Well, I did. I got house shit done and meal prep and.
I meant this shit.
Yeah.
I did a lot of stuff too, but like we didn't do anything podcast related.
No, we didn't.
From Tuesday until today, we took a 5-day break. Like it was fucking gangster. We rode dirt bikes and built stuff, and my cousin's here, and like life is just fucking great. Having that downtime was really nice. It let us recharge. We started our diets again today, and then ruined the diets with the garlic bread that Marco brought. Because
That's the only thing I ate today.
Is it?
Yeah.
I had the
that
meal
garlic
prep that
bread.
you made me, and almost that entire piece of garlic bread for me, and
I
some
ate
of
that
yours.
whole piece.
Did you really?
I did.
You didn't eat all of it. I helped you out with that, remember?
Oh, yeah, you did, you thief.
I saved you like 10 calories.
I wanted it.
You can have like the last couple bites of mine if you want.
No, it's okay.
That's
I appreciate
funny.
that, though.
Yeah, I don't mind sharing. Tonight's Patreon Live is going to have no Zoom calls, but we are going to get Zach from the Unchained, what is it? The Help My Unbelief podcast. I'm going to send him a Zoom link, so he'll actually be doing a Zoom video with us tonight for that. So we do have content for Patreon. We're not just going to be sitting there staring, going, do something. I want to blow through these super chats real quick, and then I want to pull up a video that one of our patrons posted that I want to talk about because it's relevant to our life. You good with that?
Yeah.
You want to read these super chats?
I don't care.
All right. We read that, so we start here.
From Blind Bat, you guys inspire me to be better every day. Thank you.
Is it really every day? Like every day?
Yeah. From Lorraine, I took a break because I needed it. Soul finding is necessary for my well-being, hence why I'm 5 whole episodes behind.
Yep. It's a good thing. Breaks are necessary. We just took one.
From Richard, do you have big boy sizes? I'm 6'5", 365 pounds, so like a 6 or 7X.
We don't. The biggest sizes that we ever get is 3X. I'm sure that we could get bigger sizes, but they don't move. People don't buy them. So.
Yeah. From Michaela, want to tell y'all thank you for everything. My fiance and I have started watching together as a date night, and it has made us much stronger, so thank you.
Love that.
Talk about a good date night.
Right?
From Sabrina, hope everyone has a great evening tonight. Thank you both for all that you continue to do for this community. Peaches, are you new boot goofing? If I was, you would know.
I'm guessing that's the package that got delivered to the post office.
I'm assuming so.
Yeah. I'll have to grab that tomorrow. Make a TikTok out of it. Hey guys, if you're not following our life account yet, at To Be Better Life on TikTok, we are doing life stuff. Chloe Hill said also ordered shirts. Can't wait for them to get here. All of the shirt orders besides one has been packaged and is going out tomorrow. That one shirt order did not get filled because it came in today after I'd already left the house. So, all right. What?
He hit us with the Alfredo.
Get him.
That's a great date night.
Yeah. Yep. You guys may or may not understand that eventually. All right, let's do this. I want to show you guys something. Will you hit the monitor button for me, Steve?
Absolutely.
Oh, but you see, I just really don't want to because that's genuinely how I feel. Like, I'm ready for the day where the majority of my problem is, what am I going to cook for dinner tonight? Have the kids had their bath? Is all their homework done? Do they need to be tucked into bed? Let's read a book, okay? Let's read a book so that y'all can hurry up and go to bed so I can cuddle up on the couch with my man. Like, I'm ready for that to be the majority of my problem. Instead of constantly freaking out that I'm going to be evicted and somebody reaching out to my landlord. Like, I'm a great support. Like, babe, you had a tough day. What can I do for you? Which, I mean, of course, as our relationship progresses, I'm going to automatically know all that kind of stuff. But, like, I'm ready. I am ready when I can just hand my paycheck over and know that my bills are paid. I am ready for that day. That day cannot get here fast enough. Like, my apartment gets broken into for the second time, and that's life. But somebody contacts my landlord, and I'm freaking out, having a mental breakdown. Like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna get evicted. This is the worst thing that could ever happen to me. But yeah, we can agree to disagree. I'm ready. I'm ready for the life where I don't have to think about all this. I don't have to worry about a roof over my head. Like, that stress is on my man, not on me. Anyways.
All right. Oops.
And in Jesus' name we pray.
Can we just take a second to appreciate Heather's video?
Yeah.
I saw that on the Life account this morning and then went and found it on the other account too so that I could like it twice.
Yeah.
That is my biggest flex in life. The success doesn't mean shit. The money's nice. The money's very nice. But knowing that I have been able to provide a life where you don't have to worry about shit is fucking gangster.
Yeah.
And when you're like, my man's got me, I don't have to worry about that. Like, there's an honor in that. So to hear other women talk like they want that, I'm like, I did that. Dun, 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 dun. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like, it's a badge of honor. And like, I know that there's a lot of men out there who want to have that that role and be able to live that life and say that they're able to do that. They just don't know how to level themselves up to get to that point financially. There are people out there who want to do that just don't have the knowledge, but even if they have the knowledge, maybe they don't have the work ethic. And then on top of all of that, it falls into the conversation that we had with Marco earlier about the time frame and how much work actually goes into that.
Right.
And there's a sacrifice that has to be made, and how many people are willing to actually make the sacrifice necessary to be able to be in that position, to have a woman stay at home and raise children and do the things that they're doing while he's suffering and going through that. That is such a fucking badge of honor to me. So seeing that in that video, like that's why I went in the bathroom and made your little Post-it note, because of that TikTok.
Really?
Yeah. As soon as I did it, I was like, yeah, bitch, like, yeah, you know what I mean? And then I made that TikTok follow-up also, but that's, I think that's a fucking dope thing. And to see people on the internet admitting that instead of being like, I'm a boss bitch, I don't need no man. But you want one.
We were listening to that, and I was thinking, I do that. I cook dinner, get the kids showered. We read Harry Potter until they fall asleep, and then I come out and I pregame falling asleep, cuddling on the couch with my man.
Oh, Discord saw that last night, by the way.
They did.
Yep. Yeah. I totally posted a picture of you sleeping on the couch.
Yeah.
So.
I would not trade this life for anything.
No?
Someone can offer me a job where I'm making $500,000 a year. I'm going to stay right where I'm at. This is where I'm most fulfilled. Thank you.
Yeah.
Give it to somebody else.
That's fucking awesome. Marco the Pizza Man said, a true honor as a man. It is. That fucking, I don't know how to explain that. Like, everybody wants to be that motherfucker. Like, and we dream about it. Like, it's a flex to be able to be like, well, what does your wife do? What do you mean, what does my wife do? She's my wife, bro. She doesn't do shit. She does what the fuck she wants.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like that? Yeah, bro, it's like that. And then the other woman that's at the table looks at her man like, why can't I do that? You know what I mean? Like, there's a flex there. And it is the biggest, like, big dick on the table. I'm knocking drinks over. That bitch is so heavy when it lands on that motherfucker. Like, it.
God damn it.
It's a
Alfredo.
it's a huge fucking deal. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. No.
That was dope. Heather, I hope that you fucking get that. I really hope that you get that. Yep. All right. What else do we got? We had super chats come through, I saw.
Yep. Got a few.
All right. Life is good, guys. Did you guys see the TikTok of Peaches eating shit on her dirt bike?
If you haven't, go check it out. It's quite entertaining.
She hit. Did you see that video? Yeah. She hit the ground and was like, "Fuck!" and looked up, and the clouds are going, and the music is playing perfectly timed, just laying there waiting.
Yeah.
And then she's like, "Well, at least the clouds are nice."
I showed that video to the kids today.
Yeah.
And our son was like, "You didn't even cry," and I was like, "No, I got up and I cried."
Yeah, but you could have been like, "No, you're right. Mommy didn't cry." That'll be on the actual YouTube content.
Yeah.
We've moved the YouTube reaction account to the To Be Better Life account. So if you're not following the old reaction channel, it is at To Be Better Life. We are going to start posting life content there, dirt bike rides, vacations, things that are not To Be Better content, so that we can still create content we enjoy with zero pressure.
Yeah.
So, all right, moving back over to super chats, starting with this orange box right now.
From Holly, advice on combining households after marriage. Finance, household responsibilities. We both work and will have 6 children combined. You have already helped so much from his recent BPD diagnosis and severe anxiety.
They should have said my severe anxiety.
Oh, my severe anxiety.
I was trying to figure it out too, but
yeah, I'd put those 6 kids to work.
I would too. Give them chores.
Y'all are getting chores.
Yep.
You're helping around this household.
Absolutely. Oh, shit. What did I just do? All right.
In regards to combining finances, why is that? Is there a hang up there? Like, does somebody have an issue with that, or
yeah,
is there a
whoever's more financially responsible handles the money?
Handle the money. Yes.
Yep. That is terrifying.
What is?
To give up control of your finances. Like, there is a huge level of trust that has to be had in a relationship to go, I don't want to deal with this anymore. Yeah. I trust you enough that you're not going to fucking do me dirty. Here's all the bank account shit. Make sure everything's paid and tell me how much I have left to spend at the end of the week. Like, if you have that relationship, that's also a huge fucking flex.
It is.
So, but I think that whoever is the most financially responsible, the one of you who maybe has less debt, maybe he's the one that handles the finances because you're the one that's not, charging everything. Do you remember the Flintstones? The Betty Rubble where she's like, dun, 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 charge it. Yeah. Yeah. I think about that every time I think of debt.
I think of that.
Fucking 80s cartoons, bro.
I think of that every time I walk into the mall. And I see
That's not the time to think about it, Steve.
No, but I see people carrying a bunch of bags, and it
That's
does
funny.
dun, 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 charge it.
From Blind Bat, yes, I consume your content on YouTube daily.
Love that.
From Brittany, my husband and me love the shirts. Thank you, with a smiley face. The shirt material is very nice.
And then the new shirts are
ones?
even better. And I had a sample tank top that I gave to Joey that he wore when we played poker the other night, and he's like, I almost don't want to take this shirt off.
Yeah.
So when we were in here loading the shirts up yesterday and packaging things, I was like, feel this. And it's the same material as the shirt you were wearing yesterday. He's like, I love that.
Yeah.
So definitely a dope thing. All right, I'm just going to minimize the super chat screen. What do we got going on over here? Zach said it's not blind trust, though. There can still be communication regarding finances. Not can, should. Mm-hmm. I handle our finances 100%. And if I'm like, hey.
Oh, we have a daily rundown of our finances.
Yeah. Well, we have daily check-ins and like life check-ins. Shout out to James Armstrong. Mm-hmm. I got a text message literally before we went live. And he said that he was picking up his kids. His son had his first wrestling match and won. Love that.
Hell
That's
yeah.
dope. Hell
Right?
yeah.
Congrats.
AJ actually had his kid go and have a huge life lesson at a wrestling event over the week as well.
Dope.
But James said that every Sunday night his family sits down and they have a weekly update so that everybody's on the same page of schedules. And these are the things that we have going on. And to be like 10 or 11 or 12 years old, to have that ahead of time is fucking game changing,
Structure.
right? Like I never got that growing up.
Me either.
But I know that you and I have daily check-ins in the morning when we wake up and I'm drinking my energy drink and you're doing whatever it is that you're doing, getting the kids ready. We have a quick interaction. What's on the agenda today? What do we need to figure out? Like, how much money's in the bank? How much cash do you have on you? Like, do we have to get the oil changed? What do we need to do so that we have a general structure of our day versus running around like crazy trying to do shit and the other person going, well, wait a minute, I wanted to have dinner. You know what I mean? Like, those things go a long fucking way. So the finance check-in should be a thing. It should be at least once a week so that everybody's on the same page of what's going on, because you never know when you're going to have to shift what you're saving for. Prime example, a week ago I was looking, we were looking at Class B vans, and then it went to toy haulers, and now it's looking at cars, and like the finances shift because the plans change. I don't know if James is even in here still, but I hope he heard me shout him out. Yep, I don't see it. I don't see him. All right, going back to the super chat window so that you can read the super chats.
Another one from Holly. No issues with money. We both make good salaries and both receive VA disability. Just seeking positive advice.
Okay, I think we covered that without reading the super chat. Positive advice would be the one who handles the money the best handles the money, but the trust is there, and have the weekly
check-ins.
Yeah.
From Haley, I'm 1 week post-op from emergency surgery to remove my gallbladder. It's been rough. I can't pick up my son for 4 weeks.
Do they do gallbladder surgery laparoscopically now? The same way that they do the appendix?
I want to say they do.
When they removed my appendix, I went to a tattoo convention the next day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Yeah, my appendix actually ruptured while I was on the table being put under.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yep.
I was born without my appendix.
Yeah? Obviously, you don't need it. I wonder if we had a kid, if we would not have an appendix in our children because we don't have appendixes.
Maybe.
I'm totally kidding.
When I found out, I was getting something done, and they were like, well, I see that you've noted that you've had 2 C-sections. Have you had your appendix removed? And I was like, no. And he's like, you don't have an appendix. And I was like, you mean I don't have an appendix? Are people stealing my body parts?
Well, I mean, they did cut you open twice. You're lucky you still got both your kidneys. They are done laparoscopically. So that at least they had an easy surgery and they're not in a ton of pain.
Yeah.
And robotic.
Yeah, it's all done by. Yep.
What?
Yeah.
I know that should make me feel better because it's very rare for robots to make errors.
Well, it's still manned by
it's
people.
Oh, okay.
Did you ever see the sign on 75 going south where it was robotic vasectomies?
No.
No.
There was a huge billboard out by Jones Loop on 75 going south.
No, fuck that. If I'm paying to get my balls snipped, I'm paying for somebody to touch my balls.
So they caught
I'm getting the full fucking benefit of this payment.
so they caught so much shit for that thing.
Yeah.
Right? As in nobody was doing it because they're same
Yeah.
thing. So they changed the sign now. It says child support $600 a week for 18 years or $600 once.
Yeah. Have you actually read about the procedural problems that can come with vasectomies, including
I've read
lifelong pain?
I've read some of them. No thanks.
All right. How about a super chat, babe, before you do that?
From Sabrina. Had a moment this weekend. Won't go too into detail, but Mike had an FAFO moment. What?
Fuck around and find out.
Oh, to protect me and getting to experience the scary husband privilege made me giddy as fuck. Good for you.
That's funny. So that really is a thing for you guys, huh?
Well, for me, yeah. Are
Yeah.
you kidding me? When we're walking, you're like, go to my other side. Yes, Daddy. Anything else?
That's funny. So fun story time, Sabrina, since you and Mike are actually into the Suron dirt bike thing. We were sitting at the house yesterday and Peaches was doing our meal prep. And I was like, what time do we have to do whatever it was that we had? Oh, you had dinner that you had to go to.
Yeah.
And you were like 3 hours. I'm like, I think we have enough time to go to Fort Myers and buy another dirt bike.
And we did.
And there's now 5 electric dirt bikes in my garage.
Is that when I texted you? Was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah, I had on my way to Fort Myers. We walked in there and like they were trying to like give me information on these things and I'm like, I have 4 of them. This is my 5th. I promise you I know everything about these bikes. And we loaded it up and brought it home. So now we have 3 Surons and 2 Talarias. And our bikes are being modded now. So all kinds of cool shit happening. All right. Abel to Kane said, last day at work is Friday, becoming a stay-at-home mom who works a 3rd shift part-time because I want to so we can keep life consistent. You gonna show off your new pipe?
Yes.
She's so fancy.
I love Sundays with y'all.
I think it's cool that you're going to be a stay-at-home mom. That's I mean,
concur.
working 3rd shift part-time because you want to means that you get to make a little bit of extra money, but still let you be there for your kids. I think that's dope as fuck. Oh, James sent a super chat. Said that that was the wife's idea, and she brought it to me, and I thought it would definitely be a good thing. And Chandler is going insane because you gave him a shout out too. Thanks, brother. Love y'all. James, I am proud of who you are as a man. I have known you for over a decade now, and who you were 10 years ago compared to who you are now is night and day difference, dude. And you know, you give some of that glory to God, but you've made the absolute decision to make changes to be the man that your kids and your wife needs, and that is admirable as fuck. And it's always a good thing when I get a text message from you because I know it's going to be like a good conversation. It's never nonsense. So
That's probably one of the best compliments that man's ever received.
I don't know.
Good for him.
Why do you say that?
Why do I say what good for him? Or that's
Why would you say that that's the best compliment he's ever received?
because that's mad recognition.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to hear that my face is pretty. I don't want to hear that my body looks good in a dress. I don't want to hear that you like my hair. To say that you have grown as a person and who you were and who you are now are not the same thing and you're better because of it, talk about a fucking compliment.
Yeah. That's the whole point of our podcast too, though. You know what I mean? Like there's been things over the last 10 months that people have tried to like shun us over.
Right.
Well, you did this in the past. You did that in the past. Well, I mean,
You did this 20 years ago.
we're growing. Doesn't matter if I did it yesterday.
Yeah.
I've woken up since then. That person died last night. Knew me, woke up this morning. Like, yep. We're growing. Fucking doing the growth thing. All right. Super chat.
From Haley, this whole week has shown that my boyfriend is there for me, and I know if anything happens, he's not going anywhere. He's taking care of the house and my son and going to work. I cried, but I also had a C-section.
I don't understand why you cried.
I don't understand either.
But I'm glad that you got all that recognition to your man. That's dope.
From Kim, I was born with an extra vertebrae. LOL, we are special, Peaches.
Ooh, here we go.
What?
Advice on dealing with the stress of broke problems happening to broke people. Issue happened today, and it has pushed me almost to a mental breakdown. I believe it, because that's how that goes. There is a freedom, a true freedom that comes with financial comfort. When you are not worried about money, you'll always worry about money,
Right.
because you get the level of it's different stresses. You know what I mean? Like if you're broke and your expenses are $1,800 a month, like that's a lot. And if you've got money and your expenses are $18,000 a month, it's a fucking lot. Like the more money you make, the more bills you create. So my advice for that is to cut down on everything you don't need. You got 15 fucking streaming services, cut all of them. YouTube's free. Yeah, there's ads on it. Fuck them ads. Watch them. That means that somebody else is getting paid to create the content that you're now watching for free.
Yep.
Got a cell phone through Verizon, switch to one of the carriers that's only $15 a month. The episode with the older millennial, Joe, his cell phone bill is $15 a month. When he said that shit, I'm like, no way, bro. I'm paying $60 a line. I'm now paying $35 a line because after he said that shit, I got mad, made a phone call, and they fucking dropped my plan down. But that blows my mind. So there's money that you can save. If you were to really sit down and overlook your finances and figure out how much money you're putting out, I guarantee you I can save you probably 30% of your income. And it comes down to cutting the shit that you don't need.
Yep.
Like calling your car insurance
Every time.
every 6 months and rebid out your premiums.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's other things too, like when you look at your daily expenses. Are you going to Starbucks? Cut that shit out. Going to the gas station and getting anything other than gas? Cut that shit out. Drinking something other than water? Cut that shit out. Like there are a whole lot of things that you can do to start saving money and stack your paper and then start working on business plans. However, I also understand that not everybody is a business-oriented individual. And if that's the case, you need to learn a trade and work for somebody else and let them deal with that stress so that you can clock out and go home at the end of your day.
Yep.
I really enjoyed the interview that we did with Marco today. Him hitting that ball and chain comment where he made it sound like there was a cinder block tied to his wrist was the best analogy of owning a business I've ever fucking heard. He said ankle, not wrist.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that episode to come out. I hope that helps. I got to be honest. You know that these problems are going to continue to happen. And they say that you should have 6 months of your living expenses in savings. If you have less than 6 months in savings, if there's an emergency, you're fucked.
Yep.
That doesn't mean credit cards. And I'm guilty of that because I can live off my credit cards for a long fucking time. I know that, but I can't pay my mortgage with them. So I make sure that I pay the things that are absolutely detrimental to everything. And then I fuck around with the rest of it. But I also make sure that there's a savings. So save like you're trying to buy the most expensive thing that you've ever wanted in life, and it's almost there. I also think that people should read The Richest Man of Babylon. It's a great book, and in Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Both of those books are great for finances.
From Peaches, I wanted to say thank you. Peaches has been such a light for me in my struggle with my femininity. I discovered you both randomly by YouTube, and it's made my marriage amazing. Love y'all.
I love that.
That is awesome.
It's dope when I hear people say that they found us on YouTube or Facebook instead of TikTok, because it means that we're getting reach other places.
Right, on different platforms.
Yep.
From Ginger, I'm in marriage counseling with some pastors, and they are telling me things that aren't right. Do I stick with it and ignore those parts?
Well, define what isn't right, because perspective is reality. Is it not right because you don't want to hear it? Or is it not right because...
It could be damaging to the relationship.
Right. That matters. Context matters. I need more information. You can't ask me a vague question and expect me to give you an honest, truthful...
response or opinion.
Right.
From Chloe Hill, how do I get out of the victim mentality? Watch the To Be Better podcast, number To Be Better, on YouTube and all streaming platforms.
Yeah.
Get them.
Read Choice Theory by Dr. William Glasser. Being a victim is a choice.
It is.
Living in that mentality is a choice. Realizing that your past ended when it ended is a choice. Everybody in this room has a past. Everybody that's listening to us has a past. It doesn't define your now, and letting your past define your future is a fucking problem.
Yeah.
You realize that this shit happened. Even if you want to view that it happened to you instead of it just happening. Things don't happen to you. Life happens. You happen to be involved in it. Move past that shit.
Yeah.
Don't let that horrible situation define your future, or you will always be living in that moment. You're never going to move forward. It's like walking backwards, looking behind you the entire time. That's not a very exciting future, is it? Seeing the same thing over and over again?
Right. I have a book added to my, like in the queue for me on my audiobook. It's called Bad Childhood, A Good Life. And I think that would be a good book for people to look into.
What is it called?
A Bad Childhood and a Good Life.
Is that something you have on Audible now?
Yeah.
Is it long?
I think it's like 3 or 4 hours.
We may have to listen to that on a drive.
Okay.
Because I don't have that one. He said, thank you. It does help. I'm the one that lost his fiance, so time is spread thin, making earning money difficult. I get it, dude. I remember. I know the name. I recognized who you were. That's life. You know, the way that you respond to these situations are going to dictate your future. This is also an opportunity to talk about the victim mentality that was just asked. You could look at this as, you know, a pity me thing. Like my life is hard. It sucks. Why is this always me? Or you can go, okay, this is a learning opportunity.
How am I going to fix it?
Right. I've spent a whole lot of money on shit that I shouldn't be spending money on right now. It's time to be conservative for a little while and figure out where I need to focus my attention and then crush it. Prioritize, execute, and burn the fucking ships.
From Julie Rocks. Fun you said Joe, older millennial, got you to look into reducing your cell bill. I did the same thing after his interview, reduced my cell, internet, and cut out several unnecessary subscriptions.
You would be surprised the amount of people that put shit on auto pay and forget about it and then wonder why they don't have any fucking money in their account. I have my necessities on auto pay, right? And then obviously subscription services are on auto pay. That's a monthly reoccurring bill.
Right.
But I don't look at that shit. I went in there and looked at my Amazon and I had like 19 subscriptions just under my Amazon Prime. But the money's there. So like I don't have to worry about that. But if there was ever a time where we were financially stressed and they hit me for fucking $400 worth of subscription services, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know, those subscription services add up. You figure the average one is $9.99 and they go all the way up to $39.99. It depends on what you're doing.
I found one that I've been paying for 6 years.
Wow.
That I didn't even know I had. It was on Kimmy's iPhone for her iCloud account. I was paying them $1 a month for 6 years.
Wow.
I got every penny back.
Did you?
Yeah. Because I was like, that account hasn't been active in fucking 6 years.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
From Ginger, they say that since my husband's testosterone is low, I should accept that I'm going to have a sexless marriage. When he yells at me, accept that he's just passionate and several other things.
Yeah, they're wrong. That's definitely wrong information. I think maybe you should find a different church group because any pastor that tells you that it's okay for your husband to yell at you, that's the definition of not loving your wife the way Jesus loved the church. So let's pump the brakes on that.
Right.
Reevaluate who the fuck you're talking to because they're giving you wrong information in your spiritual life. As for the testosterone being low, let me go ahead and just put this on the screen so that as I'm talking about it, you can see it. MatrixHormones.com. Click on new patient form, fill it out, hit the drop-down button, click to be better. It'll save him $200 on his initial visit. They will get his hormone in order. Getting his hormones in order could change the way that he's treating you. When my hormones are fucked up, Peaches goes, hey, you're not right. I'm like, I know, I forgot 2 of my shots. Or, hey, I haven't been taking my estrogen blocker. Sorry about that. On the Arms of the Angel commercial comes on, and I'm like,
And I'm asking you if you're okay?
I need to go and take an estrogen blocker. But I would not know these things if I didn't get my blood work done. And I'm getting it done every 8 weeks now instead of every 6 months like I was through the other company. MatrixHormones.com is the fucking shit. If you need your hormones checked, male or female, save yourself some money. Go do the thing. Link in the description. Now that I'm done being a salesman, we're going to turn that back off and go back to the super chats. Guys, if anybody ever tells you that it is okay for your husband or your wife to yell at you or degrade you or talk down to you in a negative manner, you are not getting good information. That is not okay. You treat others the way that you want to be treated. I don't want to be yelled at, so I try really fucking hard to never raise my voice at people. It's a respect thing. If somebody loves you, why would they want to intentionally hurt you? Okay.
From Chelsea, I sent in an email a while back. Y'all helped me realize I was part of the problem. Learning that I was looking for fights has helped me to stop and think before I speak. My marriage has leveled up. Thank you.
Chelsea Prince, how is the intimacy in your relationship since learning you were the problem? I'm willing to bet that just taking that accountability and changing the way that you handle situations and response versus react has made the intimacy in your relationship changed. Mm-hmm. I'm sure that there's intimate touches now. There's probably I love yous more than there was. There, sexy time might have improved. Mm-hmm. I want to know.
From Danielle, my new boyfriend introduced me to your podcast and we bond over it frequently. Your relationship is a wonderful example of the partnership we want.
I love that.
From Brianna, how do you guys feel about parents that take away or hide their child's stuffed animals after a certain age? Why are they doing it?
Yeah, I would need to know why they're taking away the stuffed animals, because that doesn't make sense to me.
Right.
If they're like 19 years old and they're like attached to it like Linus is attached to his blanket, sorry, most of you may not even know who the fuck that is. Showed my age real hard there just now, but
why would they not?
Peanuts, because that was made in the late 70s, early 80s. People, anyways. So that could be a thing like that. I think that could be a control or a manipulation tactic. If this is something that the child is having separation anxiety from the toy and they're taking it so the kid can go to school, that's a different conversation. If they're taking it just to be a fucking dick, it's a different conversation. So I need context. Context matters, guys. We need more and more context. Marco the Pizza Man. That was such a fun interview.
Conservative aunt just confirmed he's coming to the cooking episode.
Love that. Jeff should be reaching out to you. He said he's going to move your tattoo appointment up so that you'll have that whole thing available. We are going to have to set up a travel kit before we go to Tennessee anyways. So we'll just have to make a note of everything that we take and then bring that as well. Yeah, hiring my cousin is going to be a huge benefit because I'm not going to have to carry anything.
Oh, yeah.
Lazy.
You said so that, funny. And I had a whole thing flash through my mind where it's me, Marco the Pizza Man, and conservative aunt dressed up in all denim doing like a mock Destiny's Child album cover.
I did buy you a denim jacket.
I just need the pants and the shirt.
Yeah.
Going full Canadian tuxedo.
I bought her a Carhartt denim jacket. Dang. So that the next time she crashes her dirt bike, her arms don't get messed up.
There you go.
It has not shipped yet, though.
Okay.
That's funny. Hey, Ant already said he would do the denim jacket thing.
I know.
We should text
full
him.
Denim.
Yeah?
Yeah.
There's a Levi's outlet in Ellington. Yeah. We should go hit that Levi's outlet.
Okay. I'm picturing like 2000s button-up denim shirt
with a denim jacket on top of it. Are we doing denim Inception now?
Yeah.
Oh my god. So many horrible fucking commercials from the 90s are playing through my head right now.
You need to get like a puffy hair on the top and then like slick back the sides and then let the mullet hang in the back so it looks like you have a mullet.
I can do that.
This is just getting out of control.
I can get like the bump it thing for the back of my hair to do the fluff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Oh, there's another one from Kelsey. Can you guys do more content about different scenarios, conflict with children, so I can take notes for my future kids?
Yeah, I mean, if people want to send us the questions, I'm more than happy to have the conversations.
I also plan on doing, through the garden segment, like mom content, and I am starting to, they're not, I guess you can consider them diatribes, but I'm writing up like questions that I have within myself as a parent or as a wife or as like a woman in general, how I conduct myself in public and the way that I interact with strangers and shit. And it's a whole thing.
Yeah. I think that you guys need to know that Patreon is going to be getting a whole lot of content, and that kind of content is going to end up being exclusive. The interviews are going to end up becoming exclusive for at least a while. At least a while. We want to really provide as much value to Patreon as we can because they're supporting us in a way that YouTube is not.
Right.
and being able to put interviews like the Matt Bell interview, and we did part 3 of the Warrior Ways mindset, and part 4 has been uploaded to Patreon. Like there's content there.
There's a part 4.
The interview
With-
that I did with Rick, yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that's
I got the
right.
video. I only posted the audio of it, but I have the video for it. We're going to release that in December when we're on vacation. I would love to do the scenarios of conflict with children, but I don't like those have to be laid out for us because I can't just make that shit up, and my brain doesn't do that.
Another one from Chelsea. 100% better. I'm so grateful.
Yep, that's the intimacy. 100% better.
That's fantastic.
Yep, that is amazing.
From Michaela. Advice for dealing with boyfriend ignoring and pushing me away due to an argument about both feeling disrespected and family stuff. He's ignoring me and I feel hurt.
Advice for dealing with boyfriend ignoring, pushing me away due to an argument about both feeling disrespected and family stuff. He's ignoring me and I feel hurt. Sounds like you both are hurt.
Yeah. It could be less of him ignoring you and him just being done with the conversation because he possibly doesn't feel heard.
Yeah.
It could be he's processing. I would ask for clarification, like, unless you straight up ask him, like, bro, are you ignoring me?
Do we want to talk about that?
What?
That day?
We can, if
Okay.
you'd like.
Somebody on Patreon on this your phone earlier asked you the worst fight we've ever had.
Yeah.
And how did we deal with it? That was the worst disruption we've ever had.
Yeah.
And we dealt with it by silent treatment. That wasn't a silent treatment. And I didn't know that.
Right.
And we had a small disruption. It was fucking stupid. And it was a misunderstanding. And it could have been voiced as a misunderstanding, but I got in my feelings and you got frustrated with me because I got in my feelings. And then you got silent because you were processing the conversation. And instead of me going, are you okay? Or having just a check-in to see where you're at, I got silent. All right, bitch, you can give me that energy? I'm going to give you that energy. I'm going to be petty spaghetti. And I was silent for like 6 hours. And finally I was like, are we going to do this all night? And you're like, do what? And I'm like, you're giving me the silent treatment. You're like, I'm processing what happened today. I'm like, oh, well, I'm an asshole because I've been giving you the silent treatment thinking you were doing the same thing to me. And had I just been like, babe, are you okay? I know that I got a little in my feelings a little bit in that conversation and I shouldn't have handled it that way. You could have been like, yeah, I just need to process everything that you said. And we would have just fucking had a normal day. Instead, we had 6 hours of silence and I was fucking fuming angry over all of it because I thought you were giving me the silent treatment. All I had to do was ask. So that's where you start. You ask.
Yeah.
Don't assume. When you assume, you make an ass out of you and me.
From Kay, just wanted to say thank you. You both helped me look at communication in a whole other light, and it's benefited my relationship. Keep being amazing. Lots of love from Canada.
The best way to send us thank yous from Canada is by sending Steve ketchup Lays
Yep.
I like
And Smarties.
and Sour
Coffee
Patch Kids.
and Sour Patch Kids. I found the Sour Patch Kids
Yeah.
on Amazon. Yeah, 2-pound bag. Yeah. That was reasonable. Everything else was completely unreasonable.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy.
God damn it. Now you got me thinking about chips and shit.
they really don't sell that here. The ketchup.
No.
Ketchup.
The ketchup chips.
Okay.
No.
So they'll do every couple years. They'll do a limited ass release, right? It is not the same because we in America we could dump more chemical shitstorm into it than they can in Canada. It's not the same at all.
Yeah. So somebody, I'm not going to say their name
Yeah, I was just thinking I'm not reading
because
that.
I think that's a negative thing against yourself, and I'm not doing that. However, they asked what happened to Sunday scriptures. Sunday scriptures have been put on hold because of the holidays and because of my adopted mom's health. She's had fluid in her lungs. She's had heart problems. She had a double bypass, I believe. I think it was supposed to be a triple, but they only did a double. So she's had a lot of health issues, and I don't want her to put herself under unnecessary stress, and I don't want to put out content that's not cohesive and clean. So we've decided to put off the Sunday scripture content until the beginning of the year so that we can make it to the holidays. She will be on a garden segment with Peaches because we're bringing the recording equipment to Tennessee when we go, so that we can actually set up in the cabin that we're renting and we can interview her. And I'm very much looking forward to you guys actually meeting my mom and the wonderful woman that she is. But the Sunday scripture content is actually absolutely coming back. We've gotten so much positive feedback that I can't just let that go, but it needs to wait until her health is a little more in order and our life is a little more calm.
Yes.
So
Peace be still.
So if you guys want to pray for Danielle is her name, you guys can absolutely do that. That'd be very appreciated.
From iPucky. How do you detach from someone that you're so in love with? How do you detach from someone that you're so in love with, attachment to their child? I don't understand.
They have an attachment to their child as well.
Okay. But they've cheated multiple times and I struggle to heal from it.
This is one of those things where we don't really know your situation.
Yeah.
We only know that they've cheated, and if you have forgiven them, and you're still there, I mean, you've forgiven them. You got to let that go. If you haven't forgiven them and you've moved on, and you're choosing to leave them, you obviously weren't the one for them if they continued to cheat. That's an email question more than a Patreon or a super chat question.
From Anne, moving in 10 days and getting ready to start a whole new chapter in my life. This year has been crazy. You two give me so much motivation to keep going and growing. The community I've created is amazing.
Love that. I hope that whatever next chapter you're starting is a fruitful one. I love seeing shit like that. That's we had a conversation in Discord today. Somebody had made a comment about how much we're changing people's lives, and like we get the emails, right? We know that we've saved marriages, and we know that in some cases we have actually saved people's lives. They've told us that we had somebody say that they had a date. Their expiration date was nearby when they found our podcast. That's fucking wild to me. And like, I don't think we're doing anything special. I think we're just having honest conversations, but I also don't see these people's lives and how their lives are changing. I'm only hearing about it. So it's not the same thing. It's like when you don't see somebody for a long time and they're catching you up on their life. You're like, yeah, really, that's great. And you're invested because it's a conversation, but you didn't experience with them. It's different. So it's wild to see people that say shit like that. I love that you guys are leveling up, but I wish I could be a fly on the wall and actually see the arguments where you stop and take a breath before you say some shit that you're going to regret.
Yeah.
Or like when you have that conversation with a new boss, or you're putting in a new job and you've got new communication skills you didn't have before. Yep.
From Baked Danny, I'd like some Reese's from Canada, please.
Those Reese's were pretty good.
I don't think I got one.
You didn't.
Were they good?
They were amazing.
Oh God.
Yep.
I'm glad you enjoyed them.
They were amazing.
I heard you for the first time.
I didn't eat any of the chips that were in that bag. So
I asked you.
I know. I wanted the Reese's though. And now I have a reason to be like, I didn't eat
fucker.
the chips. I ate the Reese's.
That was so good.
It's funny.
Another one from Michaela. He said he needed space for a day, but it's been 4.
I don't remember what was that one.
Silent treatment.
Oh, okay. Maybe he's still processing. Maybe he's angry still. I don't know. The person with the name that we won't say says, I'm trying to change my name on here. It's from a while. It's from when I was in a dark place. You have to go into the Google account to change your name on YouTube. James Armstrong said, when are you coming to Tennessee? We will be there the 22nd to the 27th, and I should be bringing Joey with me. I don't know if that's a definite. I did invite him, and if he does, I'll text you and let you know. I'll give you the details, James. I'll text you as soon as I know what's what.
From Single Mama Thriving, child question. My daughter comes home from her dad's with attitude towards me. It's only towards me. No listening, defiance, back-talking. Our homes are night and day. I have a lot of rules and boundaries where his doesn't.
So what's the question? Because that's all a statement.
That is all statements. I'm assuming that there's going to be a second part to that. Until that comes in from Allie. How do we change our relationship? I want to be more feminine. My partner has 0 confidence. I also don't know how to be feminine at all. Well, okay. So I'm assuming that your partner wants to be more masculine. Or are you just trying to change your femininity? But in all of that, I would start with self-care.
Okay, so here's I'm not, obviously don't have answers on how to be more feminine, but I would just like to provide a thought, right? There are people that you look at and go, I like that. They appeal to you, right? Like you want to mimic that, or maybe you go, maybe I could look good like that, or maybe that, for me it's like a beard, or maybe I should grow my beard back out, or I like the way that that dude carries himself when he walks into a room and the way that he stood up and shook that man's hand and made eye contact. Like there are traits that you can pick up by watching that make you feel a certain way. Start there. Acknowledge those traits and go, okay, how can I implement this to become more of that? And you can find that in anything from movies to YouTube. Like it's,
I liked watching etiquette videos.
I did the same thing.
I did that. I watched like how women eat at the dinner table, the way women that should drink from glasses. I'm gonna say both of these really quick because I'm gonna say it wrong either way. Geisha.
Geisha.
Yes. I knew it. I was like, it's geisha, and I was like, no. He always corrects me. Is it geisha? And I was like, no, it's spelled that way, but it's not pronounced that way. That's why he corrects me because I say it the way it's written.
Yeah.
But I watched a lot of those videos too. That's how I started. When I wear skirts and dresses, I squat down and I tuck my dress underneath my knees instead of bending over with my ass out. Learned that from the geisha video.
Yeah.
The way to properly sit down and get up, and I even watched it on how to be dainty.
Yeah.
Let's get it. Trying to be cute over here.
Yeah. That's funny. Kay for $5 asked if we have a P.O. box to send Canadian goodies. Yes, we do. And I just posted it in the chat and I tagged you. There's the next super while I do this.
Lilius? Is being an open book during the courting dating phase bad or a red flag? I mean, I guess it depends on what you're discussing. I wouldn't on the first date like be super open about childhood essay.
Yeah, I agree.
Like it depends on where you're at in the courting phase. If you're going on the first few dates, I'm not going to divulge everything in my life that has fucked me up, or it would be more of discussions of what I'm looking for, what I want in my future, where I see myself in 10 years. If I have children, how I would like to raise those children. If I'm religious, what religion I want to raise the children as.
Yeah.
All of that.
I actually think the answer to that question is yes, because they wrote courting/dating phase, and that's a long time. Should be a long time.
Yeah.
6-7 months, a year, 2 years, depending. So yes, you should be a complete open book. I don't think that's a red flag at all. But I also think that you have to watch out for bullshit.
Yeah.
Because people who over inundate with information may not be as forthcoming with truth as you think. So.
From Brianna, boyfriends seem to be hesitant to have a joint savings and focused on what happens if we break up. I told him we'd split it. I don't want to take it personal. Just seemed odd to prepare for the worst case after 3 years. Convo worthy.
Yes, it is conversation worthy. That is having one foot out the door of the relationship the entire time you are together. If you are like, well, what happens if we break up?
Like, what the fuck do you mean?
That seed has been planted.
Yeah.
And you cannot unplant that motherfucker. It's like kudzu. You got to rip it out by the root and burn it. You're not going to be able to do that with you'd have to pull the brain out. It's not a possibility. That is a very problematic mindset to have. In 3 years is the time that you should be talking about marriage, right? Like you should really start be planning your future at that point, because you're past the honeymoon phase. The obsession phase, I think is what it was called, is the 2 years. That starts to go away. The rose-colored glasses are gone. You're seeing everyone's flaws. And at that point, if you're choosing to stay, you should be planning for longevity. And hearing that would be a fucking problem for me. I can absolutely see why it's created a, well, you said take it personal, but I would imagine that it's created an insecurity there, because now you have a what-if scenario that's going to play in your head like a bad record.
I would 100% take it personal. I thought we were happy. Why are you thinking about ifs? Are you planning, like, are you making backup plans? Like, what the fuck's going on? That would turn from a conversation of having joint savings and joining things, and it would be a conversation of, okay, where are we at? Because now I feel like our future is unstable.
A bookmark.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anastasia. Just want to say thank you. While I do not agree with everything you say, many of your methods have helped my husband and myself open up communication and see more eye to eye.
Love that. Can we just clarify that nobody should ever agree with anyone 100%?
Yeah.
That makes you a copy of a copy of a copy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't agree with everything that you say, babe.
I expect that.
Right. That's
Like,
healthy.
I expect all of our followers not to agree with everything we say.
Right.
I don't agree with everything anybody says. Well, everything that they say.
Right. That's how we have growth.
Mm-hmm.
So just felt the need to throw that out there. This is a name that looks familiar.
Mm-hmm. From Taylor, forgiving infidelity. I don't throw it in his face and we're both trying. Internally, I struggle though. His phone goes off and I feel sick, etc. Advice on healing the internal thoughts. He needs to be a part of that process.
Yep.
So if his phone pings and you feel sick and anxious, be like, babe, like right now is one of those moments. I need your reassurance that you're not cheating on me.
Yeah, or just be like, who you talking to? Mm-hmm. You don't have to be nasty about it. Like, who's that? We do that shit to each other all the time. Who are you talking to, babe? Mm-hmm. Oh, it's my sister. Okay, cool. What's going on? Anything fun? Like, that's normal, healthy shit, right? Like, if you're around each other or around somebody the way that you and I are around each other, I don't give a fuck what the opportunity is for a conversation. I'm taking it because we've talked about everything that you can fucking talk about. So if you're like, my plant's got a new bulb. Mm-hmm. We didn't talk about that yet. Tell me about that plant. What the fucking soil look like? Just because I want to have a conversation with you. So asking questions is not a hurtful thing unless you're being shitty with the questions.
Right.
Who the fuck you talking to? Why is your phone always going off? There's a nastiness there.
Yeah.
Who was that, babe? Very different conversation. Oh yeah, what did Joe Blow say? Oh, he's having relationship problems? Give me the tea. Let's talk about their bullshit. Like,
yeah.
You are engaging with your person. It's healthy.
Mm-hmm.
I literally hand my wife my phone and say, here you go.
Yeah. It's same. I don't.
You want to talk to them too?
Yeah.
Another one from Single Mama Thriving. How do I handle it without all of the anger? It gets very difficult to stay level-headed. We usually end up arguing. She is 7.
Why are you arguing with a 7-year-old?
Yeah, I don't do that.
They don't have a level of understanding the way that you do. Mm-hmm. Their brain is not fully developed yet. Like, there's a whole lot of lack of proper communication that can happen with a 7-year-old.
Yeah.
Granted, 7-year-olds can be smart. They can definitely be fucking attuned to what's going on around them. Mm-hmm. But you need to understand that you're the adult.
Yeah. My first question, if our son starts yelling at me, why are you talking to me like that?
Yeah. Why are you yelling?
Why are you yelling at me? Because I'm angry. Okay, well, why are you angry? I'm angry because Sissy did this and you didn't back me up and now I'm upset and my feelings are hurt. Okay, so you're sad. You're sad because you feel like I didn't back you up in this situation where your toy got taken away from you.
Right.
And it de-escalates almost immediately. And if it's a continued like screaming, I folded his blanket wrong today, complete meltdown over that. I had to separate myself. I was like, I'm not doing this with you. Let me know when you calm down and then we can have a discussion about it and what I can do to help you fix this, because you sitting there screaming and crying and not listening to me is not helping the situation, son. And I walked away.
Yep.
And after a while, he came to me and he was like, Mommy, I'm sorry. I was like, why are you sorry? And we had a conversation about it. That's how I would handle that. Either we're going to talk about the emotions you're feeling and we're going to do it in a calm manner, or I'm going to walk away, and when you're ready to talk about it, we can talk about it. And I'm not going to be mad at you. It's not going to be a shitty conversation when you've calmed down. It's going to be, how can we problem solve this? Because I don't like having these conversations with you when we're upset.
Right. All right, I'm going to do something on the screen, and I hope it doesn't make the screen. Oh, it didn't. Dope.
That's cool.
All right, so let's move this and then move this down. Oop, this. No, come on. Do the thing. Let's do that. Let's find a place to put this so that we can just leave this on the screen. How's that? Does that work for you guys?
Neato.
There's not a background on it.
Top
feel-
of the circle's cut off.
How about just stick it right here?
Stop it.
Yeah, right.
I don't want to just leave it. I guess we can just leave it up there. Fuck it. Just leave it there. All right. So speaking of the kids and the way things have happened, today there was a meltdown over a blanket and a knee bump because he hit his knee on the table, and he was freaking out. And I walked in and he immediately stopped crying because he doesn't cry like that in front of me most of the time. It stops. I'm like, why are you melting down, dude? He's like, I hit my boo-boo. It hurts. I'm like, okay. Is it bleeding? Is it broken? He said no. I said, all right, well, then there's no need to cry about it. You can say ow and scream ow if you want, so we know you're hurt. You crying is an indicator that you're in pain. We know that. I'm acknowledging it, so you don't have to do that anymore. And he's like, okay. And I was like, what's wrong? He's like, and he took a breath and he started to explain things. I'm like, it sounds like you're tired. Are you tired? And he's like, yep. I'm like, go tell your mom you're tired and apologize to her. And he said, yep. And he walked out there and you picked him up and loved on him, and there was a moment. But he didn't know how to tell you that he was cranky. Right? Like,
Right.
a lot of people, I'm in a fucking mood today. Like, test me. You know what I mean? Like, at 5 years old, you don't know how to fuck
Right.
around and find out. It's not a phrase for 5-year-old. But that's how they feel when they're cranky like that. Like, they're
Yeah.
tired. And he got that way early today. But when he realized what was going on, he was like, you could see it in his face. He's like, damn. And, you know,
He was like, I overreacted.
he really did.
He came out to me. He was like, Mommy, I'm sorry. And I was like, why are you sorry, babe? He was like, I'm tired. And I'm having a rough day. And I was
Yep.
like, I'm sorry you're having a rough day, babe. And I picked him up and we cuddled up for a minute. He was like, can you cover me up and I can watch Bluey? And I was like, I got you.
Yeah. It just takes a little bit of conversation. So on that whole discussion with the 7-year-old, where did that super chat go? I think it's important to have conversations with them. Even when you start getting frustrated, breathe and then talk to them. If they're getting snarky and shitty with you, that's a problem. I also think that if your child is going to somebody else's parent, to the other parent's house for a weekend, and there's not a structure in both homes, that's a problem. That's the actual issue there. It's not the way the child is talking to you or the fact that you're arguing. It's that you two are not co-parenting effectively. And you need to lay out a structured plan that everybody is going to adhere to, and these are the rules. If one person gets in trouble, you're going to carry that over to the other house, any punishments, etc. And that shit needs to be, I get it. I see you over there flexing your muscles, woman. I think that's the way that needs to go.
That was me trying to flirt with you.
Oh, yeah?
My mating call.
Y'all,
Yeah.
y'all need a minute?
It's a lot more than a minute.
Alfredo.
Yeah. All right. Next super chat said, advice on gaining sense of self. Reflection. That's kind of a hard topic and not something that's just a quick, easy, here you go. You have to realize who you are at your character and then build from there.
What do you stand for?
Right.
What are your core values?
I was just about to ask that. And then what are your non-negotiables?
Yep.
And once you understand those things, figuring out who you are is pretty simple.
Yep. Absolutely.
Oh, Danish asked, do you prefer your grilled cheese in square or triangle cut? I made one with macaroni and cheese the other day, 10 out of 10.
I prefer my grilled cheese with bacon and jalapeno. I don't give a fuck how it's. You don't have to cut it. What are you talking about? Cut it. Just fill that motherfucker up and I'll eat it. Like,
Yeah. I don't.
it's
cut
gonna
mine.
all come out as a turd anyways. I want to enjoy it. I don't care how it's cut. Asking from the perspective of the male brain. Any advice on slowing your brain down to be able to better think before doing something impulsive? Yeah, you say, I need a minute. Get away from me. If it's bad, say, get away from me. I need a minute. Leave me alone. I'm going to go outside and walk around for a second. You can even go as far as to say, you're really pissing me the fuck off and I am not capable of controlling myself right now, so I'm going to step away for a minute, stay in the house and let me go. There could be a whole lot of conversations that's had there, but ultimately it comes down to just knowing that you need to remove yourself from the situation because it's a good thing. Nobody wants to argue. That's not a fun thing. You know how many times people are in the middle of a conversation and in their head they're going, I wish they would just shut the fuck up?
Every day of my life.
Right. I have that shit having normal conversations with people like, are you going to stop talking at some point?
I do that in chat.
But it's one of those things that like I'm if I can remove myself from the situation to think of a good response, I would much rather do that than fly by the seat of my pants.
Yeah.
Think before you speak. And that's not a perspective from the male brain. That's just how that's supposed to go for everyone.
Yeah. It's Becky to you. I'm on episode 12 of the podcast, and I've started implementing a lot of what you both have said. And after a long roommate phase, my husband and I are now so much more intimate and happy. Thank you guys so much.
And it only took 12 episodes.
12
Yeah.
episodes. Grow your mind. Thanks for all you do. Love you guys. Thank you for supporting us. That's a you question.
Oh, somebody asked, I can't even say that because it'll get us demonetized. Chris, what would you ever want to make a video series? Would you ever want to make a video series about how you got started in entrepreneurships and tips if you would start all over again? I have started over again 3 times in life, and I don't want to ever do it again, but I know that I could if I had to. As for a video series, probably not, because every time I make videos about business, they flop. And I don't know if it's because I'm overweight or if it's because I'm not on there trying to sell you a book on how to be successful or because I'm not giving you a, hey, here's
What do you mean? You're not Matthew Lesko and you have all the answers?
3 simple tips to make you super successful. 5 simple tips to make you fucking slay it in the bedroom. Like, that's not how life works. These 5 simple tips may elevate you like a degree, but if you don't have the other steps necessary, that shit doesn't matter. So I don't think that I will ever do that. I do try to have business conversations in the men's group when we do our man meetings. But again, that's not, I don't know. I just don't think that that's something that people want from me based off of analytics.
From Brittany Jean, just wanted to say hey. Also sent a Patreon email. Hope I did it right.
We saw that Patreon email and somebody should have responded to you. And if they didn't, you will be getting a response. So let me come over here and answer AJ.
Am I reading this next one?
Sure.
All right, from Allie. How do I help my man feel more confident and masculine? Don't undermine him. If you ask him
start there and go in depth, because I don't think people realize how fucking important that is.
Okay, so when you're driving, and say like, I don't know, you take a turn a little bit faster than I would take it. I don't go, or I don't go slow down. I don't do that shit.
You used to.
I used to gasp. I did used to gasp. But that's something that I have
You don't anymore.
trained myself not to do.
Yeah.
And it's not just you driving, it's everybody that I drive with, because when I'm not in control of the car,
Right. It's normal.
I trust you. I trust my husband. So I'm not going to sit there and act like I don't trust my husband by giving off behaviors of somebody who is in fear of their life. So there are times that I remember when I caught myself doing it. You did something and I gasped and I fucked on my phone for a minute and I stopped and I looked at you. I was like, oh my God, I did the thing. I'm so sorry. And you're like, what? And I was like, I gasped while you were driving. I was like, that probably made you feel like shit. I'm sorry. And like, that was a moment for us. And you're like, yeah, it's like, why would you do that?
Right.
So
That undermining is more than that, though. That can be something as simple as asking me to do something and me not doing it right that second,
Right.
and then you getting shitty about it or doing it yourself.
that was another example I was going to go.
Yeah, the undermining thing is a fucking problem. That actually shows a lack of respect in a lot of ways. So you're right. That's a big one. I think that's a big one. What are the other ones?
Seeking his approval versus the approval of millions of men on the internet.
Woo! Woo! I need a drink after that one. Fuck, I wasn't ready for you to go that hard.
I would argue and say seeking his approval versus the approval of millions of women on the internet as well.
Yeah.
The whole fourth wave feminism going on.
It's not it.
Yeah.
How you gonna be like, fuck all men, I don't need a man, and then
This is my husband.
and then try to be in a relationship with a man?
It doesn't work.
What else?
Doing simple things to make his life easier. Like meal prep. Or putting his keys somewhere where he can always find them in the morning when he's leaving for work. Small little reminders of like, I'm here for you to be your support system. I feel is a way that I'm able to make you a little bit more confident as my husband.
Yeah. It makes me feel more confident in the marriage.
Yeah.
Because I know it's not just me. We're a team.
Rub on his back muscles.
I don't think that's going to make me feel confident or masculine, but it
No.
definitely helps make me have a better day. That is a stress reliever.
Yep.
Is it?
Those good hugs with the back
Yeah.
scratches, yeah. Positive affirmations and compliments go so fucking far with men because we're not used to them.
Yep.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
So, it's probably not cram any more of those in my mouth while I'm talking because I was not raised in a fucking barn.
No, the poorhouse.
Poorhouse, yeah.
My man.
Whorehouse, maybe. Poorhouse, no. That the positive affirmations and compliments. Babe, I know you're stressed out right now. I just want to let you know that what you're doing makes me proud to have you as my husband. Is game changer. Like, oh yeah, I can do more. You think that's impressive? Watch this. Right? Like
Do you really feel that way when I say shit like that?
every fucking time. Especially when I'm having a bad day.
Yeah.
When I'm going through it and you walk over and you rub on me and you're like, you need anything? And I'm like, no. And you're like, I can tell you're stressed out. I just want to let you know that I love you and you're doing a great job. I'm like, yep. Okay. It's another hour of editing, or I'm going to go build a house now, or fucking,
Yeah.
cure cancer, something, just to get another bit of appraisal, because that's how we're taught.
That's good to know because you're always so stoic in the moment when I say shit like that.
Right. Because I'm like, don't cry.
Be
Don't
cool.
cry.
Be cool.
Be cool. She's looking. She's still here.
Dude, my wife took me to lunch this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, you kidding me? And she paid.
You're getting spoiled over there,
I was
Steve.
like, I'm a good boy. I was belly up, whole nine. That's so
funny.
good.
I love that for you. That's awesome.
It was awesome. I love it.
This is not a super chat, but can you read that?
I noticed that you mentioned in your videos about processing past trauma. As a woman, from a woman's experience, how were you able to process the past trauma to truly be able to be there for Chris? You mean like my own past trauma? I noticed that you mentioned in your videos about processing past trauma. As a woman, from a woman's experience, how were you able to process that past trauma? My past trauma is a me issue. So within the last few months, I have dredged up a lot of my past traumas. There was a relationship in my life that ended, and I'm still processing a lot of it. And it's a separate issue altogether from our marriage.
Okay.
So we're here in this fear, and this trauma and issues over here in the corner. And I literally have to mentally walk out of our marriage and go sit in this corner to process all of that shit. Because if I were to process that within us, it would bleed into everything. I would stop doing the duties that I need to do around the house. I would slack on the podcast. I wouldn't be getting any episodes done for the garden. I would be short with everybody in the house. My fuse would be non-existent. Like, I'd be explosive. So I've lived that life, and I don't want to live that life with you. And it's important to me that our marriage maintains the sanctity of safety and peace. That's just a priority to me. That's how I do that.
Right. This is a really simple thing, though. If I treated you poorly for the sins of other people, that's not fair to you.
Right.
That will destroy our relationship. If you did that to me, I wouldn't tolerate it. It would destroy our marriage. Like, that's not conducive to success. And if you are unable to recognize that the person that's sitting across from you is not the one who's responsible for your trauma, you don't need to be in a relationship with them.
Yeah.
You need to figure out your shit before you get into a relationship, because if you bring that baggage, somebody else is paying a debt they don't owe. And you're going to find potentially a good fucking person and then destroy them because you're treating them poorly based off of your past lived experience that had nothing to do with them.
And you can't expect them to have a bad day because you're having a bad day.
No, you can't.
You can't be offended when they're having a good time in their day doing whatever they're doing and you're having a hard mental day. They can be there for you as a support and they can do what they can to make your life easy. Like I was having a really hard mental day last week.
Right.
And I was on the hammock and I was trying to process my shit and you were building dirt bikes with your cousin. And you made sure that I had everything I needed. You ordered me my favorite lunch. You were extra attentive and you were checking on me. And that was all I needed from you. That supportive, I'm here for you, let me know what I can do, and I love you.
Right.
That's all you can expect from your partner. If you had spent that day sitting with me on the couch being absolutely miserable, I would have felt like shit.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because now you're not able to deal with what you're dealing with. You're now dealing with what you're dealing with on top of me. You can't do that. You can't get on the roller coaster with people. That's one of the benefits of understanding borderline in the way that you deal with your emotions.
I appreciate that you put the work into yourself to be able to cope with me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not that hard. It's necessary.
It is.
And because of that, the little bit of effort that's put in, I'm happy. Right? So like as selfish as this sounds, and it's going to sound selfish, that little bit of work benefits the fuck out of me. So why wouldn't I do it? Yeah, it benefits you. But like my life is dope as shit. If I didn't do that, my life would suck. So it's a win for all those involved. The Hidden said any dietary restrictions, allergies, things y'all hate regarding a possible care package. Yeah, don't send us Sternber. So Sternber, what is the fish?
Oh no, that
Yeah,
fish.
don't send us the fermented Swedish fish in the yellow and red tin. Otherwise, I think I'm pretty good.
Still traumatized by that.
Yeah. CMC8484C says y'all should get matching MX jerseys for To Be Better. Hope y'all are blessed. The dirt bike buddy. I actually think that would be kind of cool because we found fly racing gear last night at the dirt bike dealership.
Wow, they're still around?
Yeah, my helmet. I have a helmet from them too, and the shirt that I bought last night actually matches my dirt bike
Bro,
helmet.
tell me you're getting some Troy Lee design graphics for that helmet.
No,
Come on.
I do think that we should create some sort of fun like thing like we did with the blanket hoodies. That would be kind of cool. Thoughts on a man watching corn in a relationship?
Cheating.
There's at least 10 episodes that cover that topic heavily on our
Yeah,
podcast.
we actually go into how it alters the brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a sideshow episode or a side piece episode that is dedicated completely to that. That's going to sum up everything way better than you can just by answering that quick question. Amanda Thompson said, can someone tell me how to make a larger super chat?
Oh, I don't know.
You add more money to it? I don't know what you're looking for there.
I appreciate that you want to do more.
I have given myself super chats just to see if I can, and I can super chat myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did a $100 super chat just to see if I could, and which basically means I gave away $30 to YouTube because they take 30% of everything that people give us,
Oh, wow.
which sucks. But you can do it, and I'm assuming that's what she meant instead of a larger box. But if you would like to give more money, you should be able to just alter it. Somebody who's better with super chats should be able to answer that question. Go ahead, babe.
From Thomas, just want to say thank you for all the tools you gave myself and my wife to succeed. Hard work and leveling up together. P.S. I can send you some snacks from Canada, no problem.
Oh man, we're gonna get all the fucking Canada snacks.
Their snacks are better.
They are. Well, their food is better. It's not
It's
fucking.
fantastic.
Yeah. Yep.
Do you guys have Cheetos up there?
Yep.
Can I have some
They
Cheetos?
they have everything we have, but better.
But without as much
Without-
processed
right.
shit and lies.
I'll take one of everything,
Yep.
please.
Same thing in England. Same exact
That's
thing.
wild.
Yeah, you know Cadbury chocolate. Cadbury chocolate. If you get the English version, the overseas version, it actually says "Buy or order the royal family" on it. It is the official chocolate of the royal family.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it tastes way different than our Cadbury.
I bet it does.
Way different.
I like the way he worded that. Just want to say thank you for all the tools that you gave us. Hard work and leveling up together. Because we're not doing the work. We are simply providing thought-provoking conversations that is going to make you question your reality. And maybe you will make a change. And if you make the change and your life gets better, you fucking did that. We didn't do shit. other than have a conversation that brought value to your brain. I love that. You did the work. Didn't do nothing.
Lilies.
Lilith?
I'm going to call you Lily.
Okay.
Another one from Lily. Open book was boundaries, looking for marriage, etc. You guys help me in my self-growth and what I need. How would you navigate dating to avoid people who only want situationships / duck buddies?
So this was the person that was asking about the red flags?
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. I would avoid Tinder. I'm going to be honest. I would avoid dating apps. There are people who do make it on dating apps, but in the vast majority of everybody, they're a very small percentage.
Yeah, they are actually a very, very small percentage, like 2 or 3%.
A lot of people are pushing everyone's secluded right now. We're coming out of COVID. People aren't restricted to their households anymore. There's a lot of social anxiety and people are uncomfortable with being in public. Force yourself to be in public. Start frequenting places. If you have a Starbucks that you go to, stop going to the drive-thru, actually walk in there. Order your coffee, wait in line. I talk to at least 10 or 15 different people.
Yeah?
Every time I go into a Starbucks, yeah. People always comment on my hair and shit, but.
I have something I want to read.
You do?
And I will read it in a second. However, I want to touch on this.
Okay.
Who only want situationships and fuck buddies. Don't date to sleep with somebody. Mm-hmm. If somebody wants to go on a date with you and they're like, hey, well, why don't you come over and watch a movie? No.
That's not what I'm
How about no?
Yeah.
How about we go to Starbucks tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock and have coffee? Mm-hmm. You get like a breakfast sandwich. It's not very expensive and we can talk for an hour or two. Or a half hour if that's what you got for your lunch break. And then afterwards, I'm going to go back about my day and you can do the same thing and we can continue to text message. And if they're like, what that booty do? Say it takes a shit. Now fuck off. Because you don't need that kind of interaction if you're trying to solidify a foundation with somebody. If their text messages are what color underwear are you wearing? That should tell you everything that you need to know. If that's what they're offering in terms of a conversation piece, they're telling you what they want. They're looking to smash and go. So I think that's the number one way to avoid that shit. Be very clear about your intent. Don't cave because somebody's giving you a little bit of attention and you feel like you need to perform to make sure they don't run off because there's a good possibility you're going to perform and they're going to fucking run off anyways because they got what they wanted.
Yeah, I wouldn't say you meet somebody, you really enjoy who they are as a person. And 3 months into it, that's all they're pushing for instead of spending time with you, like quality time. They're starting to push like, okay, so when we're going to have sex. I wouldn't even jump to that in the hopes that they might start acting towards the way of a long-term committed relationship.
3 months. It's a long time for a dude to wait.
Maybe, 3 weeks.
No, I mean,
I was thinking as I was saying
but that's a fair point. Could you imagine how different relationships would be if people actually gave it 6 months before they fuck somebody?
Yeah.
Full disclosure, my wife did that to me.
Did she?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Not due to lack of trying, by the way. But
yeah.
Absolutely. You go in for the kiss, she's like,
yeah.
No. You're going to earn it.
There is something to be said about building a foundation with somebody before you sleep with them. We knew each other for years before anything ever happened between us. Granted, we were friends first, obviously. That was a thing. But even during the courting phase, when I think I count our courting phase before our courting phase really happened, because you were my therapist for a lot of things. Like I came to you about all kinds of shit. And like we had stupid 13-year-old text message conversations that went on until 3 o'clock in the morning sometimes because I was going through a depression and like you were up. You were my best friend. Like we created a foundation that a lot of people overlook. And that's why we have the relationship we have, because there's not that's the woman. It's my woman. Like, what are you doing? You left for 2 hours. I missed you while you were gone. Like, I have that relationship with you.
Yeah.
I was getting ready to leave the house earlier, and you were like, "You're gonna miss me." I'm like, "I'm gonna drive backwards so that my heart's closer to you the whole way." You know what I mean? Like,
Damn, that's some slick shit, dude.
it was. I mean, it was kind of funny, haha moment, but like, I mean that. Like, I think about you constantly when you're not near me. Like, are you safe? What are you doing? Why didn't you respond to the text message in 15 seconds? It's been 19 now. What is going on? Like, and it's not a craziness. It's that I just need to know that you're safe and that everything is going the way that our day is supposed to be going. There is a love that is like embedded in the things that we do. I wouldn't have that if our relationship was built on sexual intimacy. Sex is a very big part of a relationship, but it's not the foundation. It might be like the insulation in the walls that keeps you warm and sweaty. But it's not the foundation and it's not the structure. All right, the thing that I was going to read because of your Starbucks thing where you're like, I interact with 10 or 15 people when I'm in there. Do not forget to show hospitality to strangers, for by doing so, some people have shown hospitality to angels without knowing it. Hebrews 13:2. That is something that came up for me today, and it is something that I have to remember because I am so fucking hard on meeting new people and being polite. I am civil because I'm expected to be civil. I treat people the way that I want to be treated, but I don't engage in small talk. I have a very hard time. Well, how's your day? How's your wife? How's your kids? I don't care. If there was something that you needed to talk to me about, I absolutely care. But if I don't know you and you're dumping all your shit on me, I don't need to know this. But maybe that person has no one else to talk to, and I'm now the person that they're choosing because for some reason they're comfortable talking to me. And they need to get that out. And if I have to be that person, I need to be reminded that God's plan for me may not just be this podcast. It may be that one conversation saves somebody's life or somebody else's life by proxy. So like that shit hit me this morning, and like hearing your conversations at Starbucks and the way that you interact with people, you do that. And that's something that I have to work on. That's a goal for me in 2024 to like make sure that I am more compassionate when having conversations and small talk because I struggle with it.
Yeah.
So, okay, moving on.
From Amanda, my husband and I separated last year when our child's illness and unresolved problems boiled over. We have gotten back together, but the lessons we still struggle with have us spinning our wheels. How do we move forward?
But the lessons we still struggle with have us spinning our wheels. Well, I mean, we need context.
Yeah.
But you move forward with communication.
And grace.
In grace. Fucking grace is a big one. The idea that, I'm sorry, not the idea. I don't think that women understand how hard it is for men to be caretakers and to deal with sick. Right? Like, we are fixers. And when something is out of our control and we can't fix it, we feel helpless. And that helplessness is a big fucking problem for a protector and a provider because that's our fucking jobs. It's like you put anybody that's a really hard worker in a room with a bunch of other hard workers, and all they have to do is stand and watch. They don't have to do themselves. They pace. They like try to help, and like they find themselves put out. That is the same thing when dealing with somebody sick. For most men, we don't know how to handle that situation. It's very difficult. I think that there needs to be. I don't know the situation. There's not really a this is what we're struggling with. But I think that that's a big part of the thing is that you guys need to figure out the communication aspect of it and try to figure out what he's having a hard time with.
From Michaela, husband and I are pregnant with our first. You made a big impact on us, and I can't thank you enough. We had a healthy relationship, but are stronger than ever. Thank you for all you do.
You are welcome.
How exciting.
Congratulations.
Yes. From Holly, what type of steps did you take to control your BPD symptoms? Peaches, what steps do you take to support him?
There's no such thing as BPD symptoms. It's not a symptom. You have borderline personality disorder. There are things that affect your mental health and you react emotionally. So you need to learn to switch from emotional mind to logical mind. And the triggers that you have and the episodes that you have that is a BPD episode are things that you need to learn to work through with logical brain thinking. And learning how to switch from emotional brain to logic brain is the way to do that.
And you can't make it everybody's problem.
Right. There's also a benefit to having somebody that you can call and go, here's what happened. Am I overreacting? Right? Like, but that falls into being able to effectively communicate your needs and wants, and also having a safety person or like a team, somebody that you can trust to be honest and forthcoming with you. What steps do you take to support me, babe?
I don't get on your roller coaster.
No, can't do that.
When I notice you're off, I ask you what's going on. I don't sit there and overthink and wonder what I could have possibly done to upset you. I ask you what's going on. And then I ask you what I can best do to support you that day, because it's different for every like issue that you're having. One day it could just be me sitting with you in silence, and the next day it could be you and I going somewhere and spending quality time together and like actually having conversations about life shit.
That's important.
What is?
That's important. Because sometimes we need different levels of support.
Mm-hmm.
I have had moments where I've been ready to Control-Alt-Delete myself, and just having somebody sit with me in silence and not say a fucking word was enough.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's other times where I need to vent or I need to have a conversation. Your needs are going to change based off the way that you're feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So asking somebody, what do you need from me right now? How can I support you in the moment is fucking huge. And you would think that that's common sense, right?
Right.
But as fixers, we want to just fix the problem. This is why women have to go, I need to vent, or I need you to problem solve, to men, because we go right to problem solve. What's the problem? How do I fix it? Mm-hmm. We don't think about y'all need to vent. Like, we need to vent sometimes too, but when we vent to our homies, they're like, all right, we're going to fix this shit. We get the same thing from other men.
Yeah.
But it's a process. So that was a good one.
Thank you. And another one is I don't change my routine because you're off that day.
Also important. Also important. Because you're providing structure while my world is chaos.
But I'm still predictable in your life.
Yep.
When everything else is not.
That also helps with the abandonment issue. Because if I'm having an issue where the abandonment is kicking and you're acting different, or I perceive you as acting different, that becomes a fucking problem too. So you continue with your daily life as normal and not treating me differently because I'm going through it is fucking huge. Yep. I'm going to go right now and say no more super chats. We're going to be wrapping this up in a minute. We have one more to read, or two more to read, and then we're going to take a break before we go live on Discord or for Patreon. Let's bang these out, and then we'll.
All right, blind bat. Advice on rejection, sensitivity, dysmorphia.
Dysphoria. I don't know what that is.
I don't know what
actually
that is
had to
either.
look it up.
Okay, what is it?
It is a problem that interferes with your ability to regulate your emotional responses to feelings of failure and rejection.
I did not retain anything you just said.
I know, it's a lot.
Okay, say it one more time. Let me close my eyes.
All right. It is a problem that interferes with your ability to regulate your emotional
Okay,
responses.
I'm going to pause you right there. It's a problem. How is it a problem? What is the problem? Is it like my neurotransmitters are fucked up in my brain? I think that's what's tripping me up the most in that.
Yep.
I don't know.
It's extreme emotional sensitivity and pain triggered by the perception that a person has rejected or criticized by important people in their life. It may also be triggered by a sense of falling short and failing to meet their own high standards and others' expectations.
They have names for everything.
So it's
now.
just rejection. You have a fear of rejection.
I've got all of us do.
Right. That's normal behavior.
But that's what that
Absolutely.
is.
It's what it sounds
A
like.
fear of rejection.
But they got a crazy name for it to make it sound glorified. Like, everybody goes through that. Nobody wants to be rejected. Nobody wants to fail. Like, that shit sucks. Being overly sensitive about anything is a problem. Emotional regulation is a concern. I honestly don't know enough about that. So, like, I don't know. Guys, we're not therapists. Like, we don't know all of everything. We do communication stuff. Mm-hmm. So this would be a great time for Ahmad to hit disclaimer in the chat.
So this is actually something very, very new. Like, how new? May 2nd of this year.
Really?
Yep.
Huh.
Yeah. That's the first I'm actually seeing of it on here. And then it ties into ADHD and a bunch of other things. Like, it's literally, they're trying to give it a name. That's at least what I'm seeing here.
What's the definition
I'm
of
not-
dysphoria? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're good. What is the definition of dysphoria?
Just dysphoria itself.
I will give you the Webster here. Give me 1 second. A state of uneased or generalized dissatisfaction with life. That is from Merriam-Webster.
You remember back in the day when you're like, I'm feeling like, and your parents be like, suck it up, pussy.
All the time. I still feel my dad's hand on the back of my head.
Yeah,
doing
right?
that. Yeah.
They didn't have names for all that shit. So you just be like, I'm sad. And you'd be like, yeah, me too.
I did.
And now they have fancy names for it. And people are like, I'm feeling like, yeah, me too. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
We're
not
not
trying to downplay
yeah.
their thing, but like, it's one of those things
I
that
don't
like,
understand it.
you do understand it though. It's just fancy terminology for the way that everyone feels. Everyone experiences that to some extent. If you care about the people that are rejecting you, you feel that way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I felt that way. I know you felt that way.
Yeah.
Same with you.
You are not alone.
You're not alone.
So you're asking for advice on how to react when you feel rejected.
Well, advice on rejection, sensitivity, dysphoria.
Maybe the name is just they feel it more.
Maybe.
You know what I mean?
I don't know.
Like it's more
But
intense.
I
It'd
got
be
nothing
more
for this
intense
one.
for them. I don't.
Okay.
I'm not qualified to have an opinion on that.
Right.
All right. From Mimi McKenya. Hookup culture destroyed the sanctity of intimacy. Too much focus is being placed on the physical aspects and not enough on emotional, mental, and spiritual connections. Love y'all. Oh, it's McKenya. I thought so. I was like, I only know one person.
Yeah. That's I mean that she's right though. She's absolutely fucking right.
Yeah.
And I agree. I think that as the hookup culture thing is glorified more and more and more, people who actually want the sanctity of a like proper relationship, it's going to get harder and harder to find it.
It's going to become like legend,
Right.
folklore of what relationships once were.
Yep. And the not enough emotional, mental, and spiritual connections. Yeah. I agree with that 100%.
I remember growing up, like, I was a really shitty kid. We used to bully religious kids,
Yeah.
and that was the norm.
Well, it's even more so now.
Right. But, like, seeing the progression of it, my circle has gotten even smaller because a lot of people don't like the fact that I'm religious now.
Yeah, but tell me how much better your circle is.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Right?
I love it.
I told my cousin the other day that I found my faith when we were in the car, and he's like, "Wait, really?" And like we had a long,
Flabbergasted.
well, he was. We had a
Yeah.
long conversation about it. But it's I don't know. That's just one of those things like that. You need to find your tribe, and if somebody wants to shun you because you found something that makes you happy, let me hold the door open for you so that you can go ahead and find your way out of it.
Yeah.
Like Bontu said, "Chris, what do you keep playing with off screen?" An Allen key with a screwdriver on the end of it. This is my fidget toy because I don't know where my fidget spinner is, and it's helping me stay focused. So anything can be a fidget toy if you're bored enough.
Another one from Holly. Oh, that's a good one. Didn't think about not changing my routine or reactions.
There you go.
Gotcha.
All right, so that's the end of that. Are
we ending thing?
Yeah, in a minute. Mariah said RSD have a more intense and instant emotional reaction like with BPD. It is measurable, though it is not specific to rejection.
Though it is specific.
Oh, it is
to
specific.
rejection.
But is okay, I'm going to say it and I'm going to use BPD as an example. If you have borderline personality disorder, we know that that's from trauma, right? It's normally from extreme abuse. And I read something the other day, believe it or not, that says that your borderline can reset. So like if you have 16 years without a traumatic event, your borderline can go away.
Oh, wow.
So they say that within 99% of people over 16 years, their borderline dissipates. It's gone. Wow. But they have to have a healthy relationship, stability, and eventually they won't have borderline anymore. However, if they have another tragic event, that time clock starts over. I don't know if that's true, but I read it, right?
Yeah.
Some fucking person smarter than me put that out into a video about borderline, and I watched it and then read the document. Reading that comes from traumatic situations. When I have a borderline episode, I go, quit being a bitch. This is not that big of a deal. You're overreacting. Quit being a pussy. And I talk to myself that way. And it pulls me right back into logic mind because me overreacting and having a fucking meltdown is not going to solve anything. Because at the end of the day, nobody gives a fuck about your meltdown. Yep. It only affects you. And it may make the people around you lives miserable, but it's definitely not a benefit to them.
Right.
And when you realize that you're the fucking problem and the way that you react, not respond to situations, could make those around you miserable, why would you want that? Wouldn't you want to make the people around you happy and be a light in their life instead of a darkness? respond to the situation, find a way that works for you, because I guarantee you that calling yourself a little bitch or a pussy is probably not going to do it. It works for me. You know,
I'm not that aggressive with myself.
Oh, I am. I'm pretty aggressive.
In moments where I'm having an episode, I remind myself that this is a me problem. My world is shaking right now, but planet Earth is not. So I need to reel it in.
yep.
I have to be hot for my husband.
You got that. That doesn't take much effort. I don't know. I would like to believe that everybody is eventually able to find a way to switch from from emotional brain thinking to logic brain thinking. But you have to find what works for you. My biggest thing is the rule of fives. Is this going to affect me in 5 seconds, 5 minutes, 5 hours, 5 days, 5 weeks, 5 months, 5 years? And then once I figure out where that's at, I can logically start trying to execute a plan. You can't execute a plan in an emotional state of mind. It's why when you have combat training and things are popping off and you want to freeze, your body does what it's been trained to do because you've been working to make that happen. It's no different with your emotional mind state. So I could react and fuck myself in the process, or I can start processing the steps that I have learned to take to get me back to logic brain thinking. And it's not perfect. I still have things that absolutely upset me, and I have to like really, go through the processes of anxiety and worry and all of that shit. That's normal, but I'm working on that too. One day I will be more one than anyone. Ace Ventura 2.
I've heard
when he was doing that.
Okay, did you watch that recently?
She's never seen either of them.
Okay, well,
so we had to watch them both.
We did.
Didn't you have a list of movies that were like
We still have that
absolutes?
list.
The list is still going, yeah.
And you're still adding stuff to it?
Oh, yeah.
Because I'll make a movie reference. She'll be like, I haven't seen that. I'm like,
Please tell. You have watched Pump Up the Volume, right?
yeah,
Yes.
we watched
Okay,
that.
We
at
did,
least
yeah.
that's out
That's
of the
on
way.
HBO Max right now.
Yeah.
They
That's the
finally put that
skateboard
on
movie.
streaming.
I saw it.
That's the skateboard movie.
No, that's the radio one where he hijacks the radio
Oh,
station.
yeah, that's right. That was good.
Okay.
I
All right.
like that.
Biodome.
Yes. Liked Biodome.
Okay.
I got stupid medicated and watched it. That was good.
Yeah.
I've seen
Best.
The Beach now, right? Was that what it's called?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Leonardo
Yeah,
DiCaprio.
no, The Beach. Yep, good movie.
Okay, let's talk about that for a minute because there is a scene in that movie. Thank you for the super chat, Charlie Abbott. I will read that in a second, but please, guys, no more super chats because we are trying to wrap this up and I don't want to get held over. That scene in the beach where the dude gets bit by the shark and they're all freaking out like we should just put him out of his misery. He won't stop screaming. That level of misery and being that loud voice while everyone else is trying to be happy got him kicked it all off to be put out on the beach to die by himself alone.
Yep.
That is how things work in an emotional mindset. If you are being that loud, obnoxious, negative, fucking up everyone else's peace, eventually they will kick you off to pasture. And that happens in real life, everyday society when people kick people out of friend groups, when marriages end because somebody's a negative Nancy or because they're not on the same page with things. Just because you are suffering does not mean that you get to ruin the peace of everyone else. That is the perfect example. If you have not watched that movie, it is fucking dope as shit.
Yep.
One of my favorite, probably top 15 movies of all times.
The movie was crazy.
Charlie Abbott said, tuning in at work to say thank you for everything that you two do, and that I'm a proud member of the To Be Better stuff. To Be Better stuff. How about To Be Better Tribe? I'll
I
take
like
it.
that.
Either way, I appreciate
Stuff, tribe.
Thank you.
it. Another movie that I think everyone should watch just because I think you should watch it is Mr. Holland's Opus.
Yeah, of course.
Movie
Great
makes me
flick.
cry like a fucking baby
Never
every
seen it.
time I watch it. Every
that
time
one,
I watch
The
it.
Pursuit of Happiness.
That's a good one too.
Oh, God.
That scene in Mr. Holland's Opus where he sings Beautiful Boy in sign language to his deaf son,
yeah,
dude, I'm a
dude.
fucking mess, sobbing the entire time. It's so bad. So bad. It's such a good movie.
Green Mile fucked me up pretty good.
Mr. Holland's Opus was the movie. Green Mile. I'm tired, boss. Dog tired. All right, let's wrap this up, guys. If you guys are going to be here for the Patreon Live, we'll be back in 10 minutes. For everyone else, we will see you next week.
Farewell.
Awesome.